You can go back in and do it after.
We're live. Okay.
Let's see if I can find you.
Yes.
Facebook going to tell me that you're live so I can share you.
Oh, they redirect me. Perfect. Okay, cool. All right. So hello, everybody, and welcome to our new moon live. I'm so excited to talk to you guys today about this new moon and to tap into the flowers with Yvette about what's going to help us through this time, because we are in like a super Aquarius time right now. The new moon, which exacted yesterday around noon, about 12 hours, or about 24 hours ago. So if your time zone is different, 24 hours from now. When the moon hit new moon yesterday, there were 6 planets in Aquarius. So normally we have 10 planets we really look at. So that's 60%, which is a lot. So this is a really significant new moon. But before we talk about that, let me introduce myself. I'm Katie Turner, and I am a spiritual astrologer and twin flame coach. I help people find out who they are, find space for self-love, and alignment with their life path and how they can articulate it through their birth chart. And this is Yvette, if you don't mind, if you're...
Who's trying to share.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
Sorry. I was like, hopefully I'll be able to do it. It wouldn't let me share it the normal way. It was just on my page. I wanted to put it into the group. So as I'll introduce myself and then I'll share it into the group. So I'm Yvette, the spiritual flower lady, and I'm a florist, a flower card reader, healer, and a certified flower healer. And I work with the energy of flowers, and that is by giving you guidance, because I'm like a conduit, a channel for the flowers and the messages that they have. So whether it's archangels connected to them, the spirits of nature, I kind of pass those messages to you. So together with the energy and myself, when I work with anybody, it's kind of connecting you to that flame that's within you. So this could take you to your inner child that needs some work and healing, or boost your self-esteem or confidence. So it's all done with guidance, really lovely. Well, it used to be lovely and gentle, fluffy guidance, but now it's getting kind of serious. So I think the time that we're in is like some serious stuff needs to be done here. Yeah. So they're kind of being a bit stricter with how they're delivering it, and then more fluffiness. Yeah, so it's getting you to, not only do you get the guidance and you tools to help you move and navigate through life, you're also getting to know and understand what flowers mean. So you're not just going to see the beauty of them, you're going to get to understand the messages they have for you. So when the flower catches your eye, you're going to go, I wonder what you're trying to tell me, and delve in, quieten your mind and sit still to hear what it is that they're talking about. So I'm going to let you continue, and I'm going to just don't take notes of me, just share this where I need to share it.
Sounds good. Okay, so like I was saying, before we introduce ourselves, there is a lot of Aquarius energy going on. Aquarius in general is focused on the collective consciousness. So what is the shared human experience we're all going through? What are the shared ideas we have, the shared beliefs we have, the shared structures and ways of being that we operate under? It is known as the rebel, and this is really not just for rebellion's sake, but Aquarius likes to challenge the status quo. He likes to challenge the tradition and the structure that we have already built, and not just to challenge it, but to see if there's better ways of doing things, better ways of being, and organizing as a collective to help make sure everybody is getting what they need. It is known as a water bearer. So it is not a water sign, it's an air sign, but it gives water to those who need it. It pours out awakening energy, higher consciousness. It pours out humanitarian efforts. This is a sign that is really strong with like adoption, with philanthropy, with people who volunteer a lot of their time, those who are in activism and making an impact that way. So whatever way we can help society grow, that is Aquarius. But it's not just the collective consciousness either. It's also where that reflects internally within us. So this is where we are a unique being, where we are meant to challenge other people and how we can be who we are. This is where we can challenge ourselves and grow out of our own traditions and status quo maybe are not serving us anymore. Aquarius is helping us awaken and shift forward. It's like a lightning bolt of miracle energy, or sometimes accident energy, or just this shake up that comes in shakes everything open, cracks you open, tears down some of the old, and launches you forward into something new. I get the energy of like in The Wizard of Oz, where the tornado comes and it picks up Dorothy and it moves her to a whole new world. Like that's kind of this energy. It comes in and it may be a tornado and how it feels, but it helps move you forward. And being that it's a fixed air sign, Aquarius is kind of stubborn sometimes, but stubborn in the sense that it wants to make things better, where it wants to help the world grow. So when it comes to this new moon, you may be seeing things related to that collective societal energy manifesting for you, or it may be personal. Maybe it's a personal shift for you where you're personally awakening, where in your chart Aquarius is will have a big impact, which we'll talk about when we go down through the zodiac elements and what's going on there. But overall, it's going to help shift you open and wake you open. And with new moons being a time where the sun and the moon are in the same spot. So our heart and what we want to create and what brings us love and joy, what we're shining light on, and what we're nurturing, how we tend to things, our foundations, our soil where we plant things is in alignment. And so we can really easily plant seeds that are aligned with who we are and what we want. With that energy within the new moon, we can set intentions for where we want to see growth, where we want to see shifts, where we want to see ourselves either personally or see us collectively move towards something better. So right now, the moon has moved on to Pisces. And so while we still feel the new moon effects for about 2 or 3 days before and afterwards, we can also feel the fact that things are shifting and changing. So we get to plant the seeds. And so maybe yesterday, with all the Aquarius energy, you were shifting and changing. Your mind was kind of going places. Now is the time where you get to reflect on that, because Pisces is kind of a sign of like non-action. It's the last zodiac sign. And so it's more about reflection and processing, connecting to your soul, really checking in your alignment. How are you feeling? Are you carrying anything that's no longer yours? Is there anything, your soul wants you to connect to? Is there anything about what Aquarius is opening up to that there's a deeper soul essence that speaks to you? And so for this time until the moon moves into Aries and on Sunday, Valentine's Day, around 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and 4 p.m. Where you are at Yvette in England. So around that time, that's when the moon will move into Aries. So wherever you're feeling like you're wanting to awaken and shaken and shift things, the next few days are not necessarily about acting on that as it is sitting with it. And seeing where sitting with it takes you and seeing how that energy can further transform. Because once you move from Pisces to Aries, Pisces being the last zodiac sign and Aries being the first, it's this ending of cycles and this new birth, this new beginnings and starting energy. So we're able to kind of transition out of that reflection period into more action. And so if you're wanting to see action with wherever you're setting your Aquarius intentions, Sunday may be better. And Mars, the planet of action, who rules Aries, is in Taurus. So around that time anyways, when it comes to action, the things that we take more time to sit with, the things that we spend this like Pisces space with to kind of feel things out, we're gonna have a lot easier time acting on because we're sure of it, we're committed to it, we know the importance of it. So take your time for yourself to kind of tend to that. And then within all this Aquarius energy as well too, it's not just the sun and the moon happening in its own little, private cave where that's all we have. So we have other planets that are also in Aquarius right now too, that we're feeling the effects of. And so Aquarius is not just one point in the zodiac. It's actually a range of energy from like 30 degrees. So you have 0 degrees to 30 degrees or 29 degrees Aquarius. And so it's this range of space. And within that range, there's nuances in how it shows up. And so there's actually what we call decan. So every zodiac sign, you can divide it into 3 chunks, 3 10-degree chunks. And each decan has a different planet that rules underneath that Aquarius energy. The first decan of every sign is always going to be the planet that rules that sign. So right now in the first decan, which is ruled by Aquarius and Uranus, we have Saturn. So Yvette, you said that the flowers had been more serious lately. To me, this speaks to Saturn. So in this Aquarius energy, the very first thing we have and the most pure Aquarius aspect of Aquarius, so the most collectively consciousness, the most like how can we awaken, how can we move towards something better? We have Saturn, which is the planet of lessons and growth and discipline and ambition and holding us to a higher standard so we can build a structure that really speaks to what we need, that looks out for our future, that looks out for tomorrow. And so with those flowers being more strict, it's because we are feeling the pressure to show up. Even though we're in this Pisces space of resting, we're in winter, which is kind of a lull in creativity energy, we're still having to show up. And this could be more internally. How do we show up for ourselves? How do we shift for ourselves? How do we prepare ourselves to be able to ride this Aquarius wave rather than resisting it? Because that's one of the things with Aquarius. When it brings change, the change is going to happen. If we resist that change, we're going to have a hard time. But if we embrace that and move forward, things will be a lot easier. So Saturn, how can we prepare ourselves for that space? The second decan is always going to be ruled by the planet that rules the second elemental sign after that one. So Aquarius at the end of the line. So then the next one is going to be Gemini, which is at the beginning of the zodiac wheel. So Gemini is ruled by Mercury. So the second decan is Mercury ruled. This means it's the Aquarius side that relates to communication, community, friendships, our routine, how that manifests in that area. So we have 3 planets in that. We have Jupiter, which is asking us to expand how we think, expand how we view the world, how we connect to others, how we communicate, how we, think about how our routine and our structure can work for us. How can we open up in that way? Venus, expanding or opening up how we communicate in relationships. How do we bring balance to our mindset? How do we bring harmony to our routines, but not just in repeating old patterns or ideas of what we should have in those areas, but what is the highest expression we can have here? What is the highest consciousness we can have when we're talking to someone else? How can we really, see them in the highest light possible for everyone involved? And then we have Mercury retrograde. So we're reworking things. We're reworking our mindset, our routine, and our communication, and having shifts in that area. That was kind of straightforward because Mercury is in the Mercury ruled decan. It's happy here, and it's excited to bring shifts when it comes to how you think, how you communicate, and how you structure your life. The last decan is then ruled by the next air sign, the next sign of the element. So this is Libra, which is Venus. So this is the energy of Aquarius, where it's about balancing things out, restoring harmony. So if you look at the whole thing, first we have Uranus breaking things open. Then we have Mercury initiating conversation, and then Venus restoring balance. So Aquarius, the whole journey, we're trying to shift things and break things open, but we're not going to leave you, out there trying to cope with the challenges that are. We want to restore that balance. So the sun right now is in the third decan of Aquarius, bringing balance to how we're waking up to who we are and what we want and what is important to us and how we shine our light and what is our light that we get to shine. And so as you waken up to more aspects of self, allow yourself to bring in more harmony and balance as things kind of fall into place. If things kind of get thrown up in the air, some of it's going to settle and some of it's going to settle in a really good way. So embracing where things are settling, and then making sure that where things need to be kind of intentionally balanced, doing so in a way that celebrates your heart and happiness. Because when I talk about the collective consciousness, you're included. Like we and me go together there. You can't have a we without me, and you can't have me without we. And so being able to celebrate your sun too. Aquarius is opposite Leo. We talked about that with the full moon 2 weeks ago. It's about your heart and your happiness and your individual, like what you want. So that's important here as well too. So I'm really excited to hear what flowers are supporting the new moon energy of the intentions we're setting, where we want to see things breaking open. And if you feel anything that kind of speaks to the other planets in Aquarius, I'm interested to see too. But if not, there's a lot going on. So it's kind of hard to kind of like piece it apart and feel it all out.
I'm thinking, oh my God, so you're in, it's like 2 days of feeling something, and then you're going to shift. And that's how we do feel, sometimes, I've seen a lot of people posting on Facebook like, oh, I went to bed, felt really good, and then woke up feeling really shitty. It's like another day's come, and then you're just this whole, it's a yo-yo. But what this balance is all I've been getting all this week from the messages I've been receiving is scales, it's balance. It's almost like the scales of justice. The Gerber came up this week, which was about balancing your relationships. And when you send it out Gerbers to anybody, it's gift flowers, it's giving somebody a gentle hug, appreciation of your relationship. But it's also a flower that gets you to end relationships. So this is ending relationships, you can bring in new relationships, better relationships. Whenever I use jewelry for people in arrangements, I always use clear quartz because it's to amplify their intentions. So once we set these intentions, that's when this flower arrangement gets into place, and so this amplification. But it's all the archangel that accompanies the Gerber is Archangel Jeremiah, and this is a angel of the justice of scales. It balances, and it's this week is about you. And see, this reminds me of thinking, well, we've changed, but it wasn't a new moon flower. It was the flower for the energy of the week, and that still takes us into the Sunday where it's sort this shit out. Because when it comes to Sunday, you're just going to move into the energy's not going to be so bad. You're going to kind of know where you're going. So this whole feeling of like, oh, here we go again. I'm going to change my energy. It's like if you sort everything out now, come Sunday, when everything changes, then you're going to be ready. So it is about anyone looking to begin a relationship. Check out how your relationship's going with people. Are you doing too much for others? Give a chance for other people to give to yourself, because this balance also comes about you being fine, do what you need to do for people, but also take time out for other people to give back so they can feel that energy of what you feel of doing things for others. So this whole system of this justice, balancing yourself, being right, and it still runs with the same energy that we've got the red rose for the whole month, which is that heart space with yours as well. So when you end relationships or you sort out this energy with your heart, if you're giving too much or waiting for someone to receive love from somebody, this is all your heart space as well. So that you sort of say, right, you know what, this person's not doing anything for me, they're just draining my energy because all they're doing is taking. Then it's not like get rid of them and shut the door. It's like just reduce the amount of time you spend with them or ease them out of your life. You know, you might feel bad, like you've known them for 20 years, but it's something that you need to do in order for you to feel more fulfilled. And that's what this energy is all about. But I'm going to see if anything else comes up with, now that the new moon's moved over, I thought it was hanging around for a few days. These planets, there's too many of them going on. We'll see if anything else comes up. But then we got the camellia. So this is all that same energy of when you let someone go, when you get rid of this takes me back to yesterday when I was doing the healing of the heart. The red rose helps melt blockages of your heart. So when you do, you're coming back to the space of the camellia, which is letting you know that you are lovable. Do that properly. And that's that pink, gentle, feminine energy, that little, motherly hug that we could all do with every now and again. And just letting you know everything is all right. So you clear blockages, you kind of feel a little tinge in your heart because you've cleared away cut some cords of someone that's done you wrong. And now you're leaving this space to be filled up with some love so that you can radiate love, so you can let somebody else know that you are lovable, come get me kind of thing. So it's just about, and actually loving yourself, that reflection. There's always this reflection in the mirror as well, looking back at yourself and letting you know that you're lovable because you cut someone loose, or they might have cut you loose. So some, it's not just a one-way street here. If, some you might be looking at, I'm going to get rid of this person, but they might be looking at going, I need to cut her loose too. So just remember, it's a two-way street. But whatever happens, there's reasons for it. You could break up and come back together, but you can come back together as new refined people because you've sort of seen the flaws and whatever's going on. But it is also the chance to, as you were saying, lots of your posts saying it's nurturing time. It's really take note of what you need and how you're going to be feeling and what, let yourself know you're lovable no matter what goes on.
Definitely. I love that energy. Oh my goodness. I feel like that's super supportive. And it's kind of amazing how, like you said, like on Sunday, that's when the Cerberus switches over to different energy. And that's when the moon switches over to Aries, the new beginning. So it just kind of like aligns perfectly there with that. I really like that energy. Oh, okay. I'm excited. Like, And I think it's that nice balance. You said something too about how, like, you might break up and then come back together as well. I mean, when you're talking, that was the energy I was getting as well. It's like, even if there's an ending, it might just be an ending to the relationship as you know it. And so maybe there's a different way to transform things. And with anything Aquarius and Uranus, when things get shaken up, whatever is still there is strong. Like, that has something good about it that was able to withstand that shakeup. And so that's something you can continue to build from. And so if there's a fight you have with someone where the balancing energy is about having to voice what's happening and calling attention to an imbalance or something like that. Like if that shakes up your relationship, but you're still able to move through it, that's a really strong partnership. That's a really strong, thing you can kind of lean into. And so I love that.
All that communication, like
yeah.
that communication. So there's bickering going on. Just bicker it out, because when you're arguing, heated arguments, you need to, it's like this volcano within you, you need to release the ashes and let it all spill over. And then it comes back to a calm. So, there's no point in just suppressing everything, because your scale, I'm not talking about scales, everyone needs to come like this. You're just down here. You need to, bring yourself up so you're equal.
Yeah. And with that energy too, I feel like don't take it personally if people are in that bickering mood, because like maybe it's just a way to release things for both people. And if you don't take it personally, then it doesn't have to affect you, but both parties get to release something. And it's not.
There's a chance to set boundaries as well. If you've upset somebody, now you know why. Okay, so we know not to do that again, or let's try to do things a different way. So, it's always, you clear the air, you set boundaries, and then, everybody knows where they're at.
Yeah, it's a learning and growing and evolving process, which is, to me, what Aquarius wants for us. It wants us to awaken and see positive shifts and movement forward. Like, it's just, I see it as kind of like universal blessings, these like angel energy, spirit guides. I see all of that kind of living in that Aquarius land of helping us move forward. So I think it's wonderful energy. So are you ready to dive into the elements?
Yeah. So have you got any comments coming on or anything? Not anything here.
I see. Good evening. Good evening. Hello, Harjeet. And then Adrian said, Grand Rising, everyone. Grand Rising.
Okay, I'll let you do. I can't see any comments, so I'm leaving up to you.
That was on my Facebook page. I don't know if maybe they're different on
I think they filter through, but I can't see anything.
Oh, technology. Will you ever sort yourself out?
So who are we going to go through with first? Who are we going to?
Air signs first, because Aquarius is an air sign. So we always give, I guess, the birthday energy in that way with the new moon is a birthday energy. So happy birthday, Aquariuses. We're giving their energy first. So air signs are Gemini, Libra. Let me go ahead and write that down here in the comments so people will know where this begins as well. So Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So these are energies that are focused on communicating and expressing ideas, turning ideas into concepts, and just thinking and processing information, intellect. It's just all that energy, the mental energy, the idea energy, that expression, that social energy. And so for you guys, this is going to happen in your fire houses. And so this is a new moon for you to really set intentions to and awaken to aspects of your passion, of your sense of self, your identity, your creativity. And so it feels kind of almost like this contrast between being such social creatures. A lot of your sense of self is developed through talking to other people and experiencing other people and seeing what they kind of put off and sharing that space with those people. But this is like, can you balance that out with what makes you special? What do you love about yourself? What is your sense of identity? What do you like to create? What do you like to shine light on? What do what are your truths? What are your higher perspective? And can you kind of cultivate that for you as well too? Not because you can't have that social space, but just because it's important to revisit your sense of identity and to revisit that fire energy that is that counterbalance to your air. When you can connect to your passion, then it's not just having conversations, but it's having conversations around things that matter to you, or expressing an idea that really reflects your personal truth or your personal experiences, rather than just letting someone else talk. So this gives you a chance to let people get to know who you are and what you want to share with the world. And then it gets to be an act of self-love. Like, it almost feels like with the air signs, and this is always a conversation that's important for Aquarius, because Aquarius is, in all air signs, Aquarius is the opposite of Leo, and Leo is like the sun, self-love, happiness, your light. And so it really struggles sometimes with self-love and enjoying who it is and being proud of itself. And so being able to foster your sense of self is so important because it begins that journey of self-love, and it takes away so if you find yourself using like your relationships with other people to plug in the energy of self-love, so Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, if you're hanging out with your friends because you're not happy with yourself, or if you're wanting to be with a partner because you don't feel good on your own, you don't have to not have friends and not have a partner, but ask yourself what's going on underneath the surface, and can you use the fact that you have these people in your life as support to give you permission to kind of, I see this image of they're your rope tied around your waist as you propel down into this world of who are you, what's important to you, and any healing that kind of goes with that. So using your support team to know you have those people out there looking for you, but still making it a journey about yourself and making it for you and giving yourself that time because you need it. And that's the way you fill up your cup. That's the way you replenish yourself so you can go and be that wonderful friend and partner and community member that you are. So I'd love to know what flower supports them in that energy. Reggie says she's an air sign. I believe you're a Gemini, right? I think so. You get to celebrate yourself, which is cool because we're on like Valentine's Day energy too coming up. It's February. We got the red rose. It's all about your heart. Bird of paradise.
It's the bird of paradise, and it is all about communication.
Yeah.
And this is like, I just love how it opens up. This is all about opening yourself up. This is one that's connected to your crown chakra, so there could be more of a spiritual connection going on with you as well. But as it was saying, communication is key. And this one is, it is about speaking. It is about kind of setting the tone. It's like setting the stage for you, because this is one that I would always say to somebody, if you're going to do any speeches, this could even be for you to, when I say speeches, it's generally if you're going on stage, you'd have this spell there, because this is working with your crown chakra. So if you're kind of giving out messages to people, just by talking to them about your work or whatever it is you're doing, then you're kind of opening yourself up to get all the information that you need from high source, your guides, whoever you want to be connected to. But it's also you kind of setting the stage. I'm just getting set in the stage. So it's like if they are needing to communicate with a lot of people, it's like set the stage. So it's setting your intentions. This is some visualization going on. So it's like Valentine's. You want to have the candles, you want to have the nice little roses in the vase, and everything looking lovely. The rose petals get around. So it's like set the stage, set your intention, visualize it, create that setting, so that when you are ready to have this conversation with somebody, or you're inviting them to have this conversation with you, or someone's going, I need to come speak to you, and you're thinking, oh my God, what's going on? Then kind of set your stage of how you want things to turn out. And this whole thing again is with this red rose, this vibration you're creating does send it out to others. So somebody could come at you fully angry, guns blazing, ready to, have it all out. And then you're sat, because you set this intention to be really calm, and I can see they're, walking. It's like it's not setting a trap, but you're setting the stage for them to walk in, and it's going to completely change how their intentions, how they expected something to come out. It's not fighting fire with fire, it's kind of fighting fire with love. So you're just going to be sitting there and receiving, and whatever you're going to be sending out is kind of going to be sent out with anger, not anger, love, not so anger. So it's kind of squashing that. So it's set this intention, communication. This is really all about communication. It's also opening yourself up, as these all open up, open yourself up to communication. So if you're not somebody who normally, they've done me wrong, I'm sitting there sulking, the time is to flip the switch now. You've got to open up and tell them what's going on. There's no point sitting sulking, because it's just eating away at you.
I think that's such a, even this, because like the astrology side of it makes me think of identity. That flower in and of itself has such a strong identity, like the way it looks. Yeah. And I know it's funny.
Here I am.
Yeah, exactly. And people with bird of paradise, I know there's like two different ways to see it. So like there's one where you can see like this elegant bird in flight. I always see it the other way, where it looks like it's just like this wackadoodle bird where it's like hair is all crazy and it just looks like all funky, and like that was the energy I like really liked about it too, is like, okay, that's the setting the stage, is being who you are. And you said like your intentions and like finding out what's important to you before you go to that conversation to kind of have it be what you want it to be. So I don't know, I just love that that's the flower for air signs. It makes me so happy. It's a really cool flower. I don't know. It's just fun. I like that it's goofy looking. I like that I don't see it the elegant way.
Set your stage.
Yes. And I like the comparison to Valentine's Day as well too. You know, set your candle, set the mood, get the vibe right.
Yeah.
You know?
That's it. That is it.
Yeah, perfect. Awesome. Okay. So then are we ready for the fire signs? I don't know how I somehow lost the live on my Facebook page on my phone or my computer. It's somehow like yours popped up. So from the one that you shared with the green stem, so it didn't have the comments on anymore. But I found it with the comments now, so we're good. Okay, so fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. And for you guys, it's the reciprocal. So where it was in air house or fire houses for air signs, it's in your air houses. And so Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, you guys are very passionate, self-expressive, creative people. Your sense of self is really important to you, and how you live your life and what you do in the world. And so with this new moon being in the air houses, it feels like to me, especially with Aquarius being like this network of web of just connecting you, it's like, what intentions do you want to set for who you want to meet? In terms of, is it romantic? Is it work connections? Is it clients? Is it, you know, a new job? Like, who do you want to show up in your life? What helpers, what soul tribe, what guides, what, you know, just perfectly timed people do you want to have come in your life? And can you set the intentions for that? Can you call that in? Even if you don't know who they're going to be, like trusting that they're going to come. And I see this energy of fleshing out what that person would look like, or what job you want them to fulfill, or what role you want them to kind of play. If it's more career or business, if it's love, you know, what special qualities do you want to have about them? What do you want them to bring out from you? And just kind of really fleshing out the space you're wanting to be filled, and then setting intentions for that energy to come your way and to meet you, which is a really short and sweet energy for fire signs from me, but that's kind of like what it feels like, and knowing that you're worth these people coming in, or this person coming in. So if this is like, you want to, you know, be able to do a broadcast with someone and get featured on and the big, you know, person's interview system or something like that, like, you're worthy of whatever it is you're wanting. You're worthy of this person. If it's a relationship you want to have develop, if it's a friendship you want to see, like, that is within your wheelhouse of capabilities, of deserving, and of things you can create and manifest for yourself. I also feel too like helper energy. So like, this might just be because my personal moon sign is speaking to me here, but like, if you need assistance or support, you're worthy of that as well too. And trusting that, like, if you get the support from this Aquarius energy, social situations, it's going to allow your fire to show up in a bigger way, and to really just hone in and take center stage where you excel best. And so if you can delegate or invite other people to help you in these other areas, calling in other areas to help you, that can allow you to do your thing. And you don't have to be the one who juggles all the plates. You're allowed to kind of share them with people. So that's kind of the energy I'm getting. It's funny to me because air signs, despite it being fire energy, felt very watery with like the healing and, you know, trusting who you are. This one feels very earthy. It feels like career oriented. Like, who do you need in your career? Who do you need in your business to help you? Like, what roles do you want to have filled? Like, that to me is what it feels like. But I'd love to know what you get, Yvette.
Because as you were talking about that, it reminded me of that post I put up about the dandelion. It's not necessarily what you see, weed or flower. It is kind of like that, but the caption that came with it was that I kind of took away from it is, I can't remember how it said, some people see me as a weed, but she sees herself as, she knows that there's going to come a time where they're going to make their wishes upon me, which is when the transformation of the dandelion. And I kind of took that away, and like, she knows her worth. And as you were speaking, it, you know, you were saying it's kind of knowing your worth. And that's what it feels like, this dandelion energy of know your worth. You might not be that pretty little flower that everyone's getting attracted to, you might be the end of it, where the dandelion turns into the little puff form. So this is that wish formation where it just floats away as people close their eyes and make their wishes on it. So there is part of that. And also that part, the dandelion's kind of that fiery side. So that's the part of the Leo that's coming to. Again, there's not much shuffling going on, and it is kind of your worth. We've got the Camellia come up again. So that center point as well, this is you, your energy, your solar plexus, your self-esteem. It's like, know who you are. You are the dogs. No, I can't say these words. There's some rude words coming up in my mouth to say. You are who you are. You're going to stand firm in who you are. So, this whole, so it feels like more of a dandelion and the Camellia for the fire signs. That dandelion, knowing that fiery side of you, that bright color, you burn, you shine. So know that you are shining bright, because sometimes when Leos, I'm talking Leos, not just Leos, are fire signs. You're all fiery, but sometimes you might feel that your flame's kind of gone out a little bit, and you're not firing all cylinders. Nobody's really taking much notice of you. But just know that you're still kind of like, you're lit up, and everybody who needs to see you will see you. It's almost like this flame that you have is going to be shining for those that really need to see it. So just like that dandelion, some people looking at you like this weed, which is valuable, because when your lawn is covered with the weeds, that shows that there is some nourishment in your grass, that things are still flourishing and growing. And weeds grow for a reason. They're not all harmful. They have a purpose in life. And the dandelion's a good tea, and it's also the flower that you can, take away with you. So it's the combination of just knowing your worth. And this Camellia, again, is that energy of you are lovable, kind of like know who you are, know your self-worth. People put you down in the past, push them to the side. This is another Gerber thing, like, you don't need them in your life. Let's move on and fill this energy up with stuff for yourself. So it is just knowing your self-worth, knowing how you are lovable. Don't let the way others saw you before, or how you used to see yourself before, control you how you're going now. So as we said, this Aries sign comes Sunday, you're going to prepare yourself. This is like set the stage, this whole setting the stage thing of how you want to see yourself, and how you value yourself, and how you want to be, your relationships to be, whatever's going on. Just set that intention, kind of get it going on today, and let the next days just be in that energy, because the shift will come on Sunday, and who knows what's going to come knocking on your door. It's kind of like you open up the door to possibilities. Because you're not, there's no more thick blankets, because it's winter, that some people put an extra blanket across the doors to keep that draft out. It's like, draw them all back now, because spring's on its way. That sense of hope coming your way.
I love that. And I love when you mentioned the dandelion post you put up, and you asked like what people think of it as. And I was surprised at how many people said medicine. And that's what I said as well too. Like, to me, I think of dandelion, I think of medicine. And so for fire signs, like, I see that energy coming up as like your light, your passion is a form of medicine for yourself and for the world. And so you being who you are helps make the world a better place. Like, Aquarius is so focused on how can we make the world a better place. And yes, that includes like how can we form nonprofits and make policy change and correct like societal stuff, but also too, how do you be who you are and shine your light? Because if you're shining your light and you foster love between you and your children, that is changing the world. If you foster love between you and the person you run into at the store, that's fostering, like, that's doing something. If you're showing up in your business and your passion and painting or cooking or whatever your thing is, like, all of that is medicine in its own way. You don't have to be the person who changes everything about everyone. If you're always that beacon of love, you're always kind of putting your heart forward, that's making a difference as well too. I don't know. I love that dandelion energy. It makes me so happy. And it's sad that we think of it as weeds. I heard you mention like it's a good sign that your yard is growing. I have a book on like medicinal herbs from like Native American perspective, and they talk about how whatever weeds are in your yard are things you need, or medicine you actually need for yourself. And so it grows around you. And one thing like dandelion helps with is like urinary tract situations and things like that. And my childhood home, we have tons of dandelions, and both my parents have always had kidney stones, which is that urinary energy. So they're in need of that dandelion medicine, and it's right there in the
Yeah.
backyard. But we think, oh no, it's weeds. We don't need that, but it's, you know, available. So I love that dandelion energy of just, yeah, I love it. Yay. So, earth signs. Are we good with earth signs now? So these are Taurus, Virgo, and I almost said Gemini, and Gemini is not an earth sign in any way. I feel like, yeah, no, they're very air. So earth signs are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. So Taurus being, or actually, yeah, they're all kind of oriented towards practicality and growth and stability and richness and vitality. And how can we encourage vitality? How can we encourage the growth of life? It's not just work and career, like we can put them in. It does rule those things. But like we're talking about, like the herb magic of dandelions, like to me, herbal medicine is totally earth energy stuff. Like that to me just screams Virgo, especially, but all the earth signs. So really, how do we, you know, connect to what is tangible to help us encourage life and prosperity and abundance and just seeing good things for ourselves? So for earth signs, this moon is happening in earth houses as well too. And so to me, this energy feels like, for one, embrace a different way of doing things, because when it comes to earth energy, it is like solid step by step by step. We're going to build this platform. We'll make a plan, you know, we'll lay down the brick by brick and we'll build something. Aquarius is like, we're going to snap our fingers and shift you, you know, a mile ahead in the future, and you're going to have that growth like rapidly. And so for earth energy, first and foremost, open yourself up to the possibility of miracles and sudden changes and sudden improvements and unexpected things happening for you, especially when it comes to career, money, work, and those things you're trying to grow. And so if you're in this space where you're like, I don't know how I'm going to grow, but I need to grow, can you set the intention to connect to that higher energy and allow for a more unexpected shift and transformation to come your way? Connecting to as well to your support system, not just like your family support system and where you grew up from, your foundations, but your support system in terms of society. So when we talk about the collective, it's not just about how we help the collective, but when we're in need, how does the collective help us? How do we, you know, get back what we're putting forth in that relationship? And so when it comes to where you're needing to see shifts, can you ask for help? Can you invite that energy in? Can you set intentions for that? And there's this message as well for the earth signs to really embrace the value of interconnectedness. And so it's not a weakness to be connected to people because you need their help, but that's a strength that you're connected to them and you can help them and they can help. Like it becomes a web, it becomes something of value because you have those relationships, you have those connections that you can foster and encourage because you're supporting them, they're supporting you. And so essentially like shifting your relationship with how you ask for help, with how you turn to those who maybe can give back, even if you can't help them directly. So a lot of times, especially within like the industry that we're in, like I'll feel like I can't ask for help because there's this energy exchange idea where if I give you a reading, you have to give me something back in return of the same energy. And if I'm in a space where I don't have the energy to give, I can't ask for anything because, oh, I have nothing to give. I have nothing to offer. So it's not an equal exchange. So I don't ask for help. And so can we break out of that idea? Can we challenge that idea and say, you know what? They don't need my energy, but they can help me and they have the energy to spare. Let me soak that up. Let me allow myself to be helped. And so really tapping into that kind of aspect of relating to people. And then I just keep seeing as well too, like finances, work, and career. Set your mind to the idea that like radical things can happen and like big shifts and changes can happen. They're just around the corner. Keep building, but if all of a sudden you get an escalator instead of a stairway, take that escalator. Allow yourself to take that growth and allow yourself to move forward. That's kind of the energy I'm getting for earth signs.
That's like a helping hand, isn't it? The escalator. Making it a little bit easier. You don't have to tread the wheel. You don't have to tread on that real, you know, an arduous task. It doesn't have to be as hard as you think it is.
Exactly. Yes. And you're worthy of, just like Leo, fire signs were worthy. Like you're worthy. It's not gonna take from your worth to
so this is a flower for the earth sign. This is a crocus flower, and that feels quite befitting, because the earth signs, this is like crocus flowers, they push up. They're the first lot that come through once winter's kind of fading out, and it's the one that's giving you hope. So you say like there's miracles coming on. This is the crocus flower coming up. I don't know why this is doing it, but this is how it feels. Kind of weaving your way up, and then it's coming out. So the crocus flower is all about you being that teacher, and it's like a spiritual teacher, but it doesn't have to be spirituality. Whenever this comes up, I always say to people, it's whatever we are saying, it's this kind of village thing. You were saying you're reaching out to other people. It takes a village to bring up a child. So it doesn't have to be a child, it's a person, it's a community that brings you, can bring you up and take you down. But you're looking for the community to bring you up, and there are people in your community that can bring you up. And it's by listening to what people have to say. This energy exchange was saying, you can be speaking. You might not think you're saying anything worthwhile, but you could just be saying, just speaking your mind, or just having a general conversation. It doesn't even have to be, preaching to try and get clients or customers. It could just be having a general conversation at a bus stop, anywhere. And somebody hears those words, and to somebody that those words are like gold to them. They are meaningful, and that you've kind of solved their problem. Everyone's problems are different, minute to huge, but you don't know when you're going to speak. So it's like, don't hold back. Just always say what you need to be saying. When you feel according to speak, then say it, because we all have a gift. We all have something that we can teach people. We all have something we can give over to somebody else. And don't think you don't have anything so that in an exchange to ask. You can ask somebody, and then you can be in conversation for somebody. They're going to help you. And in this conversation, or you in your act of them helping you, you then open something up within you, and they've gone, oh, I didn't know you could do that. So would you mind helping with this? And you go, and this was something that you thought, oh, I didn't think there was anybody wanted to, do this. It could even just be that you'd love to do little caricatures or something as a doodle. And then somebody loves what they've seen and go, oh, could you do one for me so I can give it to my girlfriend or wife or partner for a gift? Valentine's Day is around the corner. So, you just don't know when anybody sees your worth. So kind of the same thing that Camila was for everybody, wasn't it? For the energy of knowing your worth and kind of standing tall in who you are. So reach out, don't kind of back down, and don't think that you don't have anything to offer to somebody, because somebody, one man's rubbish is another man's treasure kind of thing. So what you think that you don't have, you do have. You have something. Everybody has something that somebody wants. In school, you're the nerdy person. They go, oh, they don't have any friends because they're not hanging out with the cool lot. No, the nerdy person has friends, and they might be classed as the nerdy friends. But yes, they have. They're not those people. Just like the dandelion again, people might not see. They don't want to see the puffy side. They just want to see the pretty little flower. But the puffy side has that medicine. That's for your wishes. But the dandelion in itself has that medicine purpose for you. Once you take it in a tea, it's going to do you wonders. So everybody is somebody's cup of tea. So your tea, earth people, you are tea.
Yes, I love that. And when you went like this, it made me think of like Kundalini, which is like, I guess, like my interpretation of like hold your chakra energy system, your spinal column, like with integrity and strength. Like I think of Capricorn energy. And so the way you're talking about this is like, you have all these gifts too. So if you're having issues, can you hold yourself to that like higher energy as you move through them? Like you don't have to be like this because you have things that are not working out perfectly. Like, can you feel good about yourself as you navigate getting your needs met, receiving help, and passing that on? And it may not.
That was the awakening. That's the awakening you. Yeah. So springtime is coming. It's like now it's time to wake.
Yeah, I love that. And it doesn't even have to be like to the same person. Like I think paying it forward is a way to help people as well too. But I love the energy as well, that like it's earth energies, they have, of course they have something to give and share, and there's value in that as well. I love earth signs so much. Of course you have so much to give. Adrian is a Taurus. I like that. I think earth signs, we need them. They give us balance and grounding, and yeah, I like earth signs a lot. So then last but not least, we have water signs, which are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So these are the intuitive, the feeling-based, emotional, deep, kind of vulnerable and intimate, really about just depth of connection and this energy of, it almost feels like having your soul touched. Like, can you make those meaningful moments of real intimacy where you feel touched and heard and seen on those deepest levels? Like, that's the water sign energy of wanting that depth. So this new moon is in water houses as well. It feels like, for me, this energy of like, can you set intentions to move past almost like emotional hurdles? So if you've been feeling depressed or anxious or having these things kind of bog you down, ask for epiphanies, insight, awareness, the right people, the right perspective to shift you out of that. Because Aquarius, being this energy of shifting, we can shift quickly out of anything. It doesn't have to be a slow and steady climb out. And so if you're in a heavier place, invite shifts in. That doesn't mean you might not still have to climb. There might still be a process for you. So I'm not guaranteeing that, if you set the intention, no more depression ever again. But it can be a scaffolding system and a way to manage your depression or managing the heavier feelings or whatever you're moving through. And it doesn't have to just be depression. So it can be feeling alone, feeling abandoned. It could be a fight with a partner and how that triggered something. Whatever that is, can you set the intention to see it in a different perspective, to be able to let go of it? Aquarius as well too is really known for intellectualizing emotions. So they're going to be the first sign to like, what's the meaning behind what we went through? What's the purpose? What did it awaken me to? So if I went through a heavy experience, well, it woke me up in this way. So that's a great thing. And so kind of, you don't always want to do that. Sometimes you want to just, move through where you're moving through. But if it helps, if there's a way to see the higher reasoning behind anything, if anything you're moving through can help like awaken or shift your perspective on yourself, on life, allow that to happen. And then from there, it's like this energy of when you do the healing work, you get a parallel journey of gifts coming through. And so when you take the time to move through the emotional stuff, after that, you get like an equally energetically deep, but rewarding kind of energy. You tap into a level of intimacy with someone, with yourself. You tap into this energy of connecting to your gifts, connecting to what's special about you, connecting to self-love, connecting to just something really fueling and refilling. And so as you set the intentions to move past things maybe are heavy emotionally, look out to see what kind of falls in your lap in terms of good stuff, and see what's kind of coming through in that way. It's almost like it's like a collection basket, like you're collecting like gold coins that are falling out of the sky, which I think was the theme of last time, right? It was like these gold nuggets falling out of the sky. Yeah, so it feels like that same energy kind of in a way of after you do that healing and dealing with maybe the heavier side of emotions, can you shift and allow yourself to receive the good and allow that to kind of come forward and allow that to help you with the shifting of the heavy emotions. If you know that maybe your sensitivity was really hurt in this one situation, but now it's helping you work with clients in a specific way, can you celebrate that? Can you allow that to, maybe help you find a sense of being able to put to rest the things you went through, putting aside that knowing you're safe, knowing that, you're in a better position, if that kind of makes sense. It definitely feels like there's a lot of moving through healing for water signs with this, but then afterwards the rainbow comes out and the good stuff comes out after the rain and the storm.
There's sunshine. You need the rain, don't we? It'll just help you grow. You can't have the rain. You can't have the sunshine without the rain. The rainbow without the sunshine and rain as well, isn't it? So that was a quick too. So the Jabra.
Yay!
So it's still this energy that we have got going on this week, and it is about, just cleansing. It's like purifying your ear. cleansing the air. It's the, you know, the flowers come up through the soil. They're kind of breathing in. It's like when a baby's born, gasping in and taking in that first breath of fresh air. This is the kind of the same thing. It's when you do the cleansing around yourself, the people, situations. This is the job of getting you to know that you're kind of purifying your surroundings, purifying who you're in connection with, who you're touching base with, so that you're opening the gateway to bring in new relationships. So it is about, it's clearing the air. So the people that you're bringing in, it kind of, it's not saying that people you're hanging out with are dirty. It's like the people you're bringing in, it's like fresh air. It's new ideas, creativity, new things to come your way, and not stuff that is keeping you stagnant, because some people can keep you stuck. Some people love moving forward, and some people just like, I'm happy here, living in the past, or not moving out and looking at all the new technology. I'm happy with this Nokia from 1985 or whatever. Yeah, did they have it in there? I don't even know. But like, you know, it's that they're just happy with what, and they don't want to push the boundaries, they don't want to upset, you know, turn everything upside down. Just, it's a safe spot. And sometimes you just want to move forward, and this is that same thing. Not everybody understands your dreams or knows what you want, and especially if they're not that way of thinking. Some people don't want to have their own business, because what is that all about? That's crazy. You just go and work for somebody. This isn't about that. This is for you. It's like taking spiritual flower. Just shower, not flower. Take a spiritual flower. You can do.
Yeah.
Just, it's a cleansing thing. So it's just clearing this air around you, just making way. It's almost like I've seen all these, I've seen how closely together they are. It's almost like you're kind of in like a deep jungle, just of pure gerberas. And the gerberas are all different colors as well. So this is all different personalities. This is all different characters that you're kind of moving through. And it's for you to decide which ones you want to kind of play with. So you could be like the red ones, who might be just rooted in what they believe in and not want to do anything. The yellow ones might be, hey, come over here, let's have some sunshine, and, you know, the world's bright, let's go after a few things. Or the pink one might just, let's go sit here and be with ourselves and be comfortable for a while before we move on, or anything like that. So it is all about you kind of wading through, and this is your heart space as well, wading through your heart space and getting rid of, or just, there's no point in pushing things down, because they will rise back up again. But it's like plucking. This is a gardening thing for you now. It's plucking out what you do not need. You're clearing a pathway so that you can clearly see where you're going. It's like wading through the water. You know, when you're swimming, if you're doing a breaststroke, you're going like that. So if you're a water creature, this is a water sign, isn't it? So you're kind of doing your breaststroke, that you're clearing this path for you to move through. And the only thing that's going to come in your way, that you're going to allow to come in your way, is what you need to come in front of you. So it's kind of like really choose who you want to be with and what you want to do. And you can always have these people that are happy to be in the past and live, you know, without having to do anything, because they kind of make us who we are to this point. But, you know, there's no stopping us from our own growth. So it's like time to go out and pick some new flowers.
I love that. I think that's really awesome energy for water signs as well too. Especially because I think that like water signs hold on to things probably more than, not every sign, because I think that earth signs or thick signs can do that as well too. But they like to hold on to things that like have emotional sentiments too. But even if, you know, something's no longer serving, but you do feel emotionally about it, it might be better to let that go and allow something new to come in. And so it's about cleansing yourself and you know, getting yourself fresh and ready for something better. It's totally worth it. And whatever that better will be will definitely meet your soul like you want it to be met, in terms of like what water signs are looking for and stuff. So I like that.
So this is that thing of preparing the stage again. You used to take a shower and just get yourself ready. That is like preparing your stage again. This is preparing you for, you want to be clean, crisp, and looking smart and ready for whoever's ready to take you on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Aquarius, and then where we are in the Pisces moon, they're the last two like signs of the zodiac. And so while there is this process of like letting things go and complete things, the real like death energy of the zodiac was like Scorpio. And so we're already processed the heavy release and death. And so this is not an ending that's focused so much on death, but is that preparation that's setting the stage for the new beginnings. Aquarius waking us up to higher ways of viewing things, different ways we could, you know, be and improve our experiences through higher consciousness. And then Pisces, that like making sure we're aligned on a soul level. So then Aries energy comes forward, we take action, we launch and we move forward. So I love that all of this energy is that tending to self. How can you clear out and call in and just prepare, set your stage, set the stage externally as well. I love that energy. I love that that's carried through for everybody. It'll be interesting to see what spring brings as well too. It's like when we get to the Aries, we still have full moon and new moon and Pisces season, but it'll be interesting to see when we get to Aries season, what is the stage set for?
Yeah.
Because that's the beginnings. we're getting the call now, but that'll be when we see it. We'll see the bloom, like the crocus flower you said is the one there at the end of the future. We'll start to see that. We're almost there, which to me was a good reminder recently, because January, new year, you know, new resolutions, let's go have all these goals. And there is that new beginning energy through the one, but it's in winter time. And so it's not like, it's kind of like a false new beginning where we can start new things, but we don't have that full new energy till like springtime, when like March 20th, around that time. So like the first 3 months of the year, while we can start new things, it's kind of like a retrograde period where we're reworking them as well, where we're not fully ready to move them out. We're trying to feel them out and get our intention set. And so like that's kind of this space and what this Aquarius energy is helpful for. But hopefully people will find that this live will be helpful for them and channeling all of that, whether it's the collective stuff in the beginning or the personalized stuff towards the end. Whether it's, so all of it I think will be super helpful. But so before we kind of wrap up, Yvette, will you tell everybody where they can find more from you, or if they want to know more about the flower work, how they can work with you?
You can get me. I'll drop a link in there, and I'm also going to drop the images of the flowers that came up as well under each sign that you did, so that some people want to see the flowers close up. So I'll drop them in. So you can find me at my name, which is yvette.munasinghe.com, and on there is all ways that you can work with me. So it's through flower readings, flower healing. I do different sorts of types of healing as well. So it's all with the energy of flowers. So you can find out more from me there. Follow me on the Spiritual Flower Lady page, where I post regularly about the energy of flowers for the month. For this week, so we're talking about the gerbera and like red roses for this whole energy of February. It's just that vision and vibration of love. So there are places you can find me, and on Instagram as well.
I love that. Wonderful. You can also follow me on Instagram. I'll include the link for that as well too. I have a mailing list with an email that goes out every single Monday that speaks to the energy we're moving through, that gives some kind of news that we're going through and things like that. And then my website is katieturner.love. I'll include that link there as well too, if you want to work with me either through readings or I offer sometimes like programs and courses. Right now, there's not currently any opens, but like retrograde programs, and then twin flame coaching as well too. So feel free to reach out to me for that. And we will talk to you guys in 2 weeks for the full moon in Pisces, which I'm so excited. I'm a Pisces, so this is like my full moon. It's my favorite time of the year. I'm so excited. But yes, thank you so much, Yvette, for joining me and everybody joining us live and on the replay. I'll talk to you later.
Take care. Bye.